You guys, look what I found. I almost didn't grab this. I am so glad I looked. I can't believe it. Today we are heading to Goodwill doing some thrift shopping, and I was able to find quite a few things in two of my favorite style aesthetics. So we'll go ahead and check them out. This is very beautiful, very 1970s. It would have gone to the top of a lantern, an oil lantern. It's beautiful. But it didn't have the base, and I wasn't quite sure if I could ever find one. This I thought was a really beautiful picture, nice heavy duty pottery. It goes very well with one of the aesthetics that I love, the vintage farmhouse slash English cottage kind of vibe. Keeping with that same aesthetic, the vintage farmhouse, I found these beautiful silhouette pictures. And I've always wanted to put some silhouettes, like a huge collection, in my stairwell. So I'm not sure how long it would take me to collect as many as I would need, but I just thought those were really fun. They look to be cross-stitched as well. I thought these are really nice bathroom prints. I have a pretty small bathroom. Actually, I have two pretty small bathrooms, and I just could not, I wouldn't have the wall space to put these on my wall. It's not really something I like to ship out. It's pretty heavy and whatnot, but very gorgeous. I love that clawfoot tub. I found this adorable craft somebody had made. I guess I didn't realize it was a mouse while I was holding it here, but looking at it now, I can tell it was. Ah! But it's very interesting. I looked underneath to see how it was made because it was pretty heavy, and they filled a soda bottle, like an old glass soda bottle, with sand, and they had like a tube sock around it. I think the face is actually part of a tube sock, so pretty clever. This is another vintage farmhouse thing that would have been nice with that aesthetic. This is a Watt pottery. As you can see, there was some deep crazing inside. It was the smaller bowl, and those ones don't sell for as much. If it was the 14-inch, that one definitely would have picked up because those sell for about $70 to $80, but the small ones don't go for too much. And I'm sure you could guess what my other favorite style aesthetic is, the 1970s, of course. I was excited when I saw this enamelware platter down here. This is a vintage Senkoware platter. The orange poppies, Chopins, I believe is what they call them. $4, and there were two of them. These actually resell pretty decent, so at $4 a pop, definitely worth picking up. You can sell these probably at a minimum of $20, so not a bad find. So this newspaper holder intrigued me. I wanted to check it out a little bit more. It did have an antique booth tag on it. They were only trying to sell it for $1 at the antique booth, and apparently they did not sell it. I could see there was a few scratches on it, but I was still determined. I wanted to check it out a little bit more. It just was kind of cool. And I figured, I don't really know that I'd put this outside to get your newspaper on. It seems like that would leave it to the weather unless you're right on top of it and can get right out in the morning when the newspaper person drops it off. And so, yeah, I wanted to see this a little bit better and how it hung up and whatnot. Who made it? Levenger. At least Goodwill did put $1 on it. Was trying to sell it for the same, but yeah, it was pretty scratched up. There's probably some polish that could have cleaned that up a little bit better, but a really neat piece. And so I could spy this toll piece down here. I wanted to check it out. And I was pretty surprised to see that it was grapes. I never see grapes. Usually it's all florals. So that was the first time I ever seen anything but florals on a toll tray. These little 3D dimensional dog plates were so fun. This one kind of reminds me of Taco Stack's dog Salsa. If you guys don't know who Taco Stacks is, be sure to go over and subscribe to his channel. It's a really great channel. He does like trash picking and thrifting and stuff like that and flea markets. Really cool. This doggy is cute as well. I wasn't exactly sure how you would use it. I thought maybe you hang him up on the wall, but there was no hanger, so I guess you just use them as kind of like a trinket dish. I was definitely perplexed by them, but I couldn't stop looking at them. I thought they were so cheery and fun. But moving on, down here I found a vintage scissor. I believe it's a scissor holder. You hang it on the wall and you can put your little scissors in there. I think that's what it is. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, it's a wall pocket of some kind, and I think it would look darling with the English cottage vibe. I think this is the first time that I've actually enjoyed the teddy bear knickknacks. Usually it is not my thing, but I thought it was so fun that they all had like their little professional jobs, I guess. We had a firefighter and a nurse and a baker. They were so cute. I believe they were Homeco figurines. So they had this really cute fruit pitcher there, but it was modern. You know, I like to go with the vintage more often than not. Up on the top shelf, they had some really great brown top stoneware. I think I've mentioned in the past that I do collect the brown top stoneware, but I haven't really shared it that much because most of my collection I got before I ever started YouTube. But this was a really cool piece. I had never seen this one before, so it's amazing always finding new pieces. It's a beautiful redware, and they were only asking $4 for that. And then I did spy a piece of transferware. This one was unmarked, but I love the imagery on it. And I'm telling you, I'm going to start a transferware collection here soon. I'm going to start picking it up. I'm always gravitating towards it. And it obviously goes with the vintage farmhouse look and the kind of cottage look. So, no, I think it's gonna happen. I didn't pick it up, but that yellow rose platter would look really great on a hutch as well. I saw this ashtray. I was trying to figure out where this was from. A lot of times they would have it like a hotel or something's name, and this was a German piece, so I wonder if that was a German hotel. I was considering this because it was new in package. It was a 20-piece Regent Sheffield set. Made in Taiwan, so it says 1987, so pretty vintage. But they were asking 10. They had two of them as well. It's just one of those things. I was like, do I want to sit on it? It probably would sell eventually, but I just wasn't sure. And at 10 bucks a pop, I was pretty hesitant. This dish set caught my attention. It had the fruit on it, and it had this really beautiful muted tone as well. Very vintage farmhouse again. These are actually made in Ireland. They are Arklow Honeystone in the Erin Harvest pattern. So, I mean, it's tricky reselling dishware sets like this because oftentimes with the vintage stuff, people are really just looking for replacement pieces and you're really sitting on the dishware for quite some time. That's what I've found in the past. I mean, maybe someone else has better luck, but I do still like to pick them up and look for more rare pieces. So this was a double-sided aisle, so it's a little tricky. I kind of go back and forth, and so you see some things we already looked at. But I actually didn't spy these. I'm glad I scooched down. But these are so fun and perfect for vintage farmhouse, for a little nursery, or even just for a shelf decor. I think they're so great. These were very popular back in day to bronze the little kids' booties, right? And my grandmother actually used to have a pair of each of ours that she had bronze, so super fun. And I'm glad I decided to take another stroll down because, I mean, I don't know how I missed it, but in the back here, look at this. It's so gorgeous. Definitely my style. It was only $3, and it was giving me treasure craft vibes. I'll show you guys in the haul in the next video what it looks like underneath. I'm not sure if it is treasure craft. It's not marked treasure craft, but yeah, it was so fun. I love that. I was trying to make sure that it said USA on the bottom of it. This is a beautiful pedestal false graph mug, and I've actually never came across the pedestal ones. I see the other type quite often. There was this one single transferware at the top, the little cup and saucer, made in England. It was the Texas Alamo was the scenery on it. So I think I got confused by the pricing here because the tag said $6. I was going to get this plate for my gallery wall that I'm working on, the 1970s stoneware plates. and I thought they were going to be $6 each or something. I didn't quite understand, but seeing it now, the other ones weren't stickers, so it might have just been $6 for the set, which is kind of a really great deal, so I'm a little bummed about that. I was pretty excited about this mid-century built-ins bowl. Such a beautiful brown. This is from Staffordshire, England, and absolutely gorgeous with all the speckling throughout it. I'm very happy with that find. So I was a little taken back to find a piece of Christmas over here. You'll see in a second. But yeah, this was a stunning piece, a great find. This was made in Japan. It is called All the Trimmings is the design, and it's the Christmas holly. And at $4, definitely a great pickup because this would probably fetch around 15 to 20 bucks. This was kind of a pretty Japan creamer, and it feels like it's trying to be a lusterware a little bit. You can see there's some wear on the handle though, and they're asking $6 for that, so I passed. Here's some more falls graph. This is in the folk art pattern. So the folk art looks very similar to the Yorktown, but the folk art has a little bit darker of a glaze. Got a little cow cookie jar here for buckaroos. Had some glaze, craze in the glaze issues, which I'm not a fan. Some people don't mind it, but I try to pass on it if I notice it. Really cool Texas spoon rest. So this is a set of Mikasa bowls in the whole wheat design or pattern. And I don't sleep on Mikasa. I do like to look up comps because Mikasa is a good quality dishware that a lot of people seek after. But this particular one, there was lots of listings. They were asking $8 for the four of them. And they're probably only going to go for about $5 or $6 a piece. So you know, I'd have to wait for someone to actually want it and then have to hope that they picked me over the other many, many, many resellers selling the same thing. I thought this teapot was pretty darling with a floral for the water spout. And down on the bottom shelf, I found a cookbook I don't have. This one is about mainly the food processor and different things you can do in it. This was put out in 1982. There are several recipes at the back of it as well, but kind of fun. I just seen that vintage, what is it, G&E food processor last week. You guys probably saw that, so maybe I should have picked it up. And so I found these really vibrant, I guess they're placemats that are corked on the bottom. I wasn't quite sure what they were used for, but yeah, they're really kind of great. I was trying to talk myself into getting them. I knew I really didn't need them, but I don't know. Looking at them now, I kind of wish I would have grabbed them. They're just so fun. This is where I'm getting my daily exercise and doing squats, trying to get down on the bottom shelves. Very difficult. And this was a kind of cool little DIY craft someone put together. It's kind of neat, kind of vintage vibe. I love pawing through this wooden section. I felt bad for this little doll pushed away in the back on the bottom shelf. I wanted to put her up here and give her a chance. I actually think she's a pincushion looking at her now, and it's kind of cute. Missing most of her face there, at least her like mouth and stuff. Looks a little odd to me, but kind of cute, I guess. Hopefully someone came and gave her a home. This I loved. I love the lemons on it. It's a stand-up recipe holder, I guess. $3, gorgeous shape, so fun. So nostalgia is kicking in these days and VHS tapes are becoming popular again, and with that people are looking for these VHS holders. This one was marked $4. It seemed to be in phenomenal condition. A lot of the ones I've seen listed aren't in as nice a condition and they're still selling for around 15. So I think I would value mine around 20 to 25. I always get excited when I find these vintage learner mail holders. My grandfather had one just like this that he always kept his bills in and such. So I like finding them. I have a friend in California. Apparently they are aplenty out there because she can't stand them and I guess she finds them all the time and I'm like the opposite. I get excited because this is only like the third one I've found. You guys, look what I found. I almost didn't grab this because I was like, oh, it's just a letter holder. But then it had the Spice of Life emblem at the top. I collect Spice of Life, so I am so glad I looked. I can't believe it. This is giving me old-fashioned country general store vibes. Such a cool piece. And something a little funny, if you want the front side, I guess it's $3. If you want the back side, it's $6. So I guess it's choose your own adventure. So I thought this was really cute. I love the kitschy little image on it, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was. It kind of looks like some old-fashioned discipline, or maybe it's a fly swatter, but I wasn't quite sure what the intended use for this was. So this is something maybe we can learn together about because I had no idea what it was when I was looking at it at the thrift store at Goodwill. I was so confused. I was like, is this some type of a clamp? I was thinking more along the lines of like woodwork, and I just could not figure it out. And then I turned it over and I could see it said Muncie on this side, and it actually is an old-fashioned nutcracker. So there you go. We learned together, or maybe you already know. So as a person who loves and collects 1970s decor, one thing I do not have is a macrame owl. I was excited to see this, but it was missing its eye, so I left it behind. They're not particularly expensive on eBay. They're probably like, anywhere. The smaller one's probably like 12, 15, and then the larger ones maybe around 20 or 30 bucks, but I just kind of would rather have one that I find myself in person. I don't know. Maybe I should have got One-Eyed Willie. What do you think? Should I have took him home with me? It's so sad. Look at him sitting there. I feel bad now. I definitely should have grabbed him. So this was a pretty fancy pants picnic basket here. It had an engraved M at the top, this little table, I guess. And on the front of it, it said the Rhonda Challenge. And I tried to look that up. I didn't really come across anything other than something to do with Ronda Rousey and some kind of like obstacle like athletic challenge, but she spells her name differently, so I don't believe that's what it was from. I found these two cases filled with what I believe is some type of a scrapbooking paper that you would use, and I'm sure at $6 a pop, someone definitely came along and snagged those up that enjoys crafting that way. This stood out to me because of the graphics, very 1970s, and I wasn't exactly sure what was inside the box. It says rubber bands, but I was like, is it really? It was all taped up, and it kind of felt like it, so I ended up purchasing it, and we'll kind of see and make sure, we'll see what's inside. We'll untape it together during the haul. Likely as rubber bands, and that's totally fine and usable. I just kind of like the box and wanted it for that. I guess I like ephemera now a bit. So I wasn't exactly sure what these were. I love the color and the fabric on this one, however. And the only thing I can think of is it's a toaster cover. I had to say like overemphasize the because I'm from Maine and every part of me wanted to say toasta. But there were 3 toasters covers there, and they had a pink bowed goose. This orange one looked a little bit more modern, but it was kind of cool as well. But I don't know. I don't usually get the pink bowed geese. I don't see it too often, but those were really fun. They had a couple of these old-fashioned type jump ropes. I thought those are really fun, and I did end up grabbing those for my boys. I'm not sure. They might have to take a couple years to use them. There's quite a bit of jump rope there. They're still quite small, so we'll figure out something to play with them with. So don't hang up on me quite yet, even though this thrift along with me is over. Please go ahead and hit that like button. Let's see if we can get this video up to 1,000 likes. And make sure you are subscribed so you can catch the thrift haul of everything I picked up today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.